Hello everyone, I'm Day Weather Meteorologist Don Day with your Public Lands Council weekly weather update for this January 28th, 2023, brought to you by WSR Insurance Services Incorporated and Ag Risk Advisors. Well, the storyline this week will be the cold. Yep, the Arctic is paying a visit. An Arctic surge coming out of Canada will mean very cold weather for most of the western United States, really from California, Washington, and Oregon, through the Rockies and High Plains, into the northern plains. Arctic conditions will come our way. Now, it won't be as severe as the Arctic blast that hit in December, but we'll have many areas looking at sub-zero temperatures at night, sub-zero wind chills during the day. During the day, only single digits and teens with areas of ice and snow into the mix as well. It's going to be a kind of a snowy, cold, icy stretch of weather through the middle of next week. Cold will move into the southern plains. There could be ice and snow across parts of Texas, Oklahoma. That cold air will go pretty far deep south into the southern plains, southern Rockies, as you'll see here in a moment. Temperatures, though, will moderate some by mid to late in the week. So we do see the Arctic conditions in the west easing some. It doesn't mean a big warm up, but what it means is temperatures closer to average. But I tell you, it's going to be kind of rough over the next week or so with the ice, the snow, and the persistent cold weather as the pattern does stay active. Even though the Arctic air will subside, the pattern stays busy heading into February, which means more opportunities for snow. Now, over the last week, we haven't seen nearly the heavy amount of precipitation in the west as we saw over the last few weeks. Look at California drying out a little bit and just kind of a spotty snow pattern across the west here, while the heavier moisture has been along the Gulf Coast and over the eastern areas of the U.S. Some needed precipitation for southeast Colorado, Oklahoma, Kansas there, parts of Texas, and snowfall over the last couple of weeks has gotten pretty far south. And we're going to see that again here with this cold wave coming in this next week. And here it is. This is for Sunday. You can see that the very cold air has got easy access coming right out of northwest Canada into the west. And this area of low pressure right here, sliding into the Pacific Northwest, will take a slug of Pacific air, which is rich in moisture, and push it over that Arctic air as it heads south. Look at these temperatures. Where you see the purple, that's the deep Arctic air. That means temperatures will be as much as 30 to 40 degrees below average. So this is why you're going to get in those darker blue, darker purple areas, single digits and sub-zero temperature readings. This is by around the noon hour on Monday, and you can see the cold is pressing south and goes further south by a day later into the day Tuesday. And really, by the end of next week, this cold will affect really the entire nation, with the southeast and the Gulf Coast last to see it. But even into the Gulf Coast of Texas, you're going to see the cold. Look at the cold back into Utah, Idaho. It's going to be quite cold for California in this pattern as well. As we get to the middle later parts of next week, we do need to watch out for an ice snow event across portions of Oklahoma, Texas, into Arkansas, but a more moderate flow of air, not so much out of Canada, but more from the Pacific, develops late next week in the west, so the Arctic air will ease. But from this weekend through Tuesday and Wednesday, be ready for some very cold temperatures and, yep, some snow. As you can see, the precipitation outlook is heaviest there across the south, but there's going to be in the northern tier here, all of this, a lot of this, is going to be snow. And there you can see the snowfall, even into the mountains above Los Angeles and San Diego, the Baja of California, and Mexico even going to see some snow. Along this axis right here across Montana, Wyoming, and Nebraska, Dakotas, and into the Corn Belt, there's going to be a fair amount of snow on the plains with this Arctic wave and heavy snow in the high country. Have yourself a great weekend. Stay warm. See you next week.